The Voice Season 26 blind auditions reached their penultimate night Monday, October 14, with the four coaches Reed Mentor, Gwen Stefani Snook Dogg, and Michael Bubble becoming even more selective as their respective teams begin to reach capacity. NBC Insider will be recapping all of the blind auditions, breaking them down by the four musical squads that will eventually go head-to-head in the coming weeks. Be sure to check back in for weekly updates after new episodes of The Voice air, Mondays and Tuesdays on NBC and next day on Peacock. It's not about how they look or how they sound, it's what do we feel when they're performing. Miss Entire said about how she picks artists. Are we inspired? Do we feel something? I will turn in a heartbeat for somebody that makes me feel something, cry or laugh. But I've got to feel something. A lot of people can sing. How many people can touch your heart when they sing? That's what we're looking for. And it's an eclectic group of entertainers and singers that we've chosen. It's maybe not the fanciest or maybe the youngest, but it's who touched our hearts. She also said to Newsweek about doing the show, it's a well-oiled machine, so getting in at this time is marvelous. Everybody knows the game plan from the crew. The producers, everybody on the show is so nice, so sweet, and have been so helpful. I'm loving it. The anticipation was palpable as The Voice Season 26 blind auditions rolled into their next round on October 14. By now, fans know that this stage of the competition isn't just about who can hit the highest note or carry the most perfect tune. It's about those electric moments when a coach slams their button, spins their chair around, and welcomes a new contestant onto their team. It's about strategy, connections, and those once-in-a-lifetime voices that make everyone stop and listen. With a lineup of powerhouse coaches this season: Adam Levine, Kelsey Ballerini, Niall Horan, and the dynamic coaching duo of Dan plus Shye, the stakes were higher than ever. Each coach brought their unique approach to the show, with their ears fine-tuned to the nuances of each voice, ready to build a winning team. Let's take a deep dive into the most memorable chair terms of the night, where every spin told its own story and sent the audience into a frenzy. The night kicked off with a bang as the first contestant, 21-year-old Emily Carter from Nashville, took the stage with a heart-stopping rendition of Carrie Underwood's Blown Away. From the very first note, it was clear Emily wasn't here to play. Her soaring vocals filled the room with a storm of emotion, drawing the coaches, and Adam Levine was the first to slam his button, followed by Kelsey and Dan plus Shye in rapid succession. Adam couldn't hide his excitement, standing up in his chair and throwing his arms in the air as he turned. Kelsey was just as eager. CeeLo clang her hands as she turned around, while Dan plus Shye exchanged glances, knowing they had just stumbled upon a real contender. I mean, that is how you start a season, Adam exclaimed, flashing his signature grin. You came out here like you've been doing this for years. Kelsey chimed in, her excitement bubbling over. I know you're from Nashville, and trust me, I get the country world, but I hear so much crossover potential in your voice. You can go in any direction, and I'd love to help you explore that. Dan plus Shye added their own unique pitch, with Shye saying, we know the country scene inside and out. We're living it. You've got the range, the control, and the power. Let's go all the way. It was a tough decision, but Emily ultimately went with Adam, kicking off the night with a major victory for Team Adam. Next up was 30-year-old soul singer Marcus James from Chicago, who brought an entirely different energy to the stage, choosing to perform Stevie Wonder's classic Superstition. Marcus had everyone grooving along in their seats, but no one seemed ready to commit right away. His voice was smooth, but it was his unique phrasing and ability to play with rhythm that caught the coach's attention. With just a few bars left in the song, Dan plus Shye hit their button, surprising the entire room. It was an unexpected turn, especially considering Marcus' performance leaned heavily into soul and funk jazz that aren't typically associated with the country duo. But Dan plus Shye clearly saw something special in Marcus that transcended general boundaries. We neatly into a box, Shye explained. We hit our button because you don't. You've got something different. Something We Can Build on Marcus was visibly emotional as he thanked the coaches for turning, and though Kelsey and Adam praised his performance, it was clear that Dan plus Shye had made the right connection. Marcus joined their team, bringing a soulful twist to the typically country-heavy duos roster. Perhaps the most electrifying moment of the night came when 19-year-old indie singer-songwriter Grace Leen took the stage with just her guitar and a raw, emotional rendition of Radiohead's Creep. Grace captivated everyone in the room. Her voice was haunting, ethereal, and filled with an honesty that made every lyric hit like a punch to the gut. Almost immediately, N.Y. Horan hit his button, followed closely by Adam, Kelsey, and Dan plus Shye, resulting in the coveted for chair turn. The coaches knew they were witnessing something special, a performer who was not only vocally gifted, but who also had the artistry and emotional depth to back it up. Niall was the first to speak, clearly moved by her performance. Grace, that was absolutely stunning. I've been on the road with some of the best artists in the world, and I'm telling you, you got something, that voice. The way you connect with the song, it's rare. Adam was quick to follow. You're an artist, not just a singer, an artist. I've been doing this a long time, and it's voices like yours that stick with people, that make albums people want to play over and over again. Kelsey leaned into Grace's indie vibe. I love the way you took a song that's been covered so many times and made it feel like your own. I feel like we could do some really cool things together. Dan plus Shye, as always, offered their heart. Take, we're all about emotion and storytelling and music, and you've got that in spades. We can already see where you could go from here, and we'd love to be part of that journey. After much deliberation, Grace chose to join Team Niall, citing his experience with indie and alternative artists as a key factor in her decision. It was a monumental moment that left all the coaches applauding. The blind auditions also saw the return of a familiar face, 27-year-old Isaiah Cole, who had competed in season 24 but was eliminated during the battle rounds this time around. Isaiah brought a whole new level of intensity with his rendition of Adele's Rolling in the Deep. It was clear that Isaiah had spent the past 2 years refining his craft, and his performance was polished, powerful, and brimming with emotion. Kelsey was the first to turn her chair, followed by Niall and Dan plus Shye. Isaiah had caught their attention, and they weren't about to let him go without a fight. You've grown so much since the last time we saw you, Kelsey said, clearly impressed. I knew there was something special about you before, but tonight you really proved it. I'd love to help you take that next step. And I nodded in agreement. You've got the experience now, and you've got the fire. I think we could work really well together. Isaiah's decision was difficult, but in the end he chose Kelsey, marking a triumphant comeback and a major victory for Team Kels. The final contestant of the night was 25-year-old folk singer-songwriter Josie Harper. With her acoustic guitar and soft lilting voice, Josie performed a breathtaking version of Joni Mitchell's A Case of You. Her performance was understated, but that was exactly what made it so captivating. She drew the audience in with her vulnerability and sincerity, delivering each note with delicate precision. Dan plus Shye were the first to turn, followed by Niall in the final moments of the song. Both teams made strong pitches, but Josie seemed to have already made up her mind. Dan plus Shye spoke passionately about their connection to Josie's folk roots. Your voice is like a breath of fresh air. We're both huge Joni Mitchell fans, and you brought that same magic to your performance. NY echoed their praise, but in the end Josie chose Dan plus Shye, bringing the night to a close with one final victory for the coaching duo. October 14's blind auditions were a masterclass in vocal talent, with each contestant bringing something unique to the table, from soul and country to Indian folk. The night showcased the incredible range of voices and styles that the voices become known for. With each chair turn, the stakes grew higher and the competition fiercer. The coaches Adam, Kelsey, Niall, and Dan plus Shye fought hard for the best voices of the night, but it was clear that every artist who stepped onto that stage had something special to offer as the teams begin to take shape. It's already evident that this season of The Voice is shaping up to be one of the most unforgettable. Yet, with so much talent on display, fans are eager to see how these artists will continue to evolve in the coming weeks. But one thing is for sure, October 14 was a night to remember, where every chair turn told a story and every voice left its mark on the season.